Greetings. This is not political. Someone's going to say this is political. It's not political. This is about leadership. And you know what? Leaders shouldn't lie. Now, I say that having a great understanding that sometimes when you're in a leadership position, you can't tell everything that you know, or you certainly can't tell it the way that is the absolute truth. But you shouldn't lie. I'm going to give you an example of not lying. Many years ago, when I was still an employee, there were a lot of employees who felt that there should be merit raises. It should be based on that. You go in, you get your yearly evaluation, and then you should get the raise you deserve. The reason people tend to lean towards merit raises is because most of them think they're doing better work than the person next to them. That's just how that is. Every once in a while they're right, but overall, you know what? They're not. It's just not how it works. So administration said, because they heard this from a lot of different people, you know what? We're going to put it to a vote. And we're going to put it to every employee out there who is an hourly employee and see what they come up with. Now, I told everybody who worked for me, okay, y'all are going to get this idea that's going to come across about merit raises. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to do it. I know that some of you here think that you do better work than some other people, but trust me, this is not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out. And I just told them the truth. But administration was really working hard, even though they said that they were trying to make it a fair vote. They were working hard to get the employees to pick it. And I'll tell you the truth, when you see leadership pushing that hard for something like that, where it's supposed to be an even vote, you need to run away fast. You need to consider it and say, if they really want this, maybe this is not the way to go. Well, the vote came in and it was 76% in favor of merit raises. And the employees were happy. For 6 months, they were happy because it took that long before administration was ready to implement it. And what did administration do? What they did is they got with, the CFO, who was part of administration, and they decided, you know what, we can afford this much money in raises. So they set an amount, and it wasn't a big amount in raises. And then they said to the directors, and I was a director, okay, here's the deal. You have this many employees, so you can have this many who get the big raise. You can have this many who get a minimal raise, and everyone else gets no raise whatsoever. Now, imagine this. I had 20 people reporting to me at the time. I could give 2 people a raise. I could give 4 people the minimum, and the rest of them got nothing. One of my departments, because I was over the billing, I was over registration, I was over collections, but the billing people were top notch. I had trained them, I had brought in outside people to help train them. They were top notch. All of them were good, but I had to make this decision. And you know what? I made the decision. I didn't like it, but I told them why it happened that way. And even the person, the 2 people, I'll say, who got the highest raise, didn't like it because they knew what was going to happen to everybody else. And I said, look, I told y'all up front, this was going to be a bad idea. I wasn't sure how they were going to use this new authority you gave them, but y'all picked this. There you go. Administration didn't tell them that's how it was going to work. Like I said, they didn't tell us initially, but I just knew merit raises are always a bad idea. So in this instance, administration didn't really lie to them, but other directors did, because other directors went in and said, hey, this is your opportunity now to earn those merit raises you've always been talked about. And most of them thought it was a good idea, even though I had talked to a couple of them and said, no, this is not going to work out right. People want to disagree with me on a lot of things, but I knew what was coming. So everyone who got basically a 1% raise and the people who got no raise whatsoever were upset. And they couldn't take it out on me because I said, look, I'm going to tell you the truth. You did good work, but this is what they put into place. And you know who else didn't get a raise? Me. I had lowered revenue. I had brought in more cash. We were humming. I had a recorded record of everything that I had done, and I didn't get a raise. And I had a meeting with the CFO about it. We went to lunch. I paid for lunch. And I said, we need to talk about this thing. Look at this list. And it was a 2-page list. I said, this is everything I did last year. Would you say that that's above average work? He said, yep, I'd have to agree that's above average work. Okay, so then what's the deal with no raise? And he said this to me with a straight face. He said, your work is always above average. Therefore, if you do above average, that's you being average. Now, there is no response to that. I talked to my dad about that later on, and my dad basically said, there's no response to that. Thank you, because I had no response. But I also knew something else, which they didn't think I knew, but I knew. I was the highest paid director already. So I would have broken the budget for the raises had they given me a raise. Now, I knew that afterwards, but I wanted his acknowledgement when I gave him this list of things, because I'm one of those people who has always written down all those kind of, well, now that I'm self-employed, I don't have to record it all the time. But I'm someone who used to always write down all the things I did, because I know what it's like. I did that for my employees. I wrote down when they did good things so that when the evaluation time came up, I could sit here and say, okay, these are the good things you did. I also wrote down the bad things. So I can say, okay, this is a problem that we had, so that they knew I was paying attention. Because a lot of leaders, when they get time to do job evaluations, only usually recall the last 2 or 3 weeks. Now, this is about lying. I didn't lie to anybody. A lot of other folks did. My thing is that if you believe in a lie, even when it's pointed out to you, you get what you deserve. With reservation. There's a lot of people who have been lied to over the past year by the head man in charge of this country. And there are people who still believe that he is doing everything in their best interest, even after the proof has come out that he lied to them. They got it on tape. He lied. And you know what? Look what happened. He's sick. Wife is sick. Everyone in close contact with him is sick. A whole lot of people are getting sick. It's just this constant thing. It's beating up the press on both sides. You know, everyone thinks that he's picked only on CNN. He's picked on the other people too, the people who actually support him whenever there has been deviation from the lie. And good leaders don't lie to people. They, like I said, you may not tell everything. I mean, we had a period where we were getting ready to lay some people off. I knew that because I was a director. But they wanted to break it out at one time. I knew something was coming. I also got lucky in the fact that none of my people were getting laid off, but this is something that happened. So I couldn't go out there. When I got asked, I said, I can't tell you this. There's things that are probably going to happen, but I can't tell you that. Now, here's the thing. I had already prepped them a month earlier by saying, you know, we're doing well, but the hospital's in kind of a flux here, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. So my folks knew that there was some financial issues. You know who didn't know? Every other employee in every other department, because their directors didn't want to tell them that anything was going wrong. I wanted to prep people because I think that's the honest thing to do, but I couldn't tell them every single detail. I don't think everyone needs every single detail, but they need the truth. And if you're a leader, if you're a good leader, if you want to be a trusted leader, you need to tell the truth. That's all that is. You need to do the right thing, but it also begins by telling the truth. Now, let's see who's going to object to me saying that you need to tell the truth. Go ahead, tell me. I'll give you time. My name's Mitch Mitchell. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'll talk with y'all later.